So we live now.
You should be. It's telling you we live.
Greetings to everybody. OG. Thank y'all for tuning in to OG Speaks. Always keeping it real. Today we're going to discuss the father and son's relationship, the importance of it, and what it's like to grow up without a father in your life, the challenges you face, and everything. Personally, me myself, I grew up without a father in my life, so I had no guidance and instructions or wisdom what it was to be a man, how to become a man, how to deal with women, relationships. So I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I had to learn on my own what it meant to be a man and to respect women as women and hold them highly esteemed as a woman. So I want y'all to comment and share with me what you went through as a man, a boy growing up without a father in your life. I want the women to share with me, you queens, what it was like having a son to raise without a father, or women who are going through that issue now. You have a son in your life and you trying to raise him to be a man. I know it's a very, very difficult task to try to raise a boy to be a man as a woman, especially if your son veers off into what we call the worldly life or the street life. The selling drugs and robbing and illegal activity trying to get money. If you are not familiar with that world as a woman, you have not been exposed to that world, then it's going to be very, very hard for you to give your son guidance concerning that world as opposed to the other world of being legal, getting a job, going to college, getting a career, and establishing yourself in that world. So it's very, very important that you become knowledgeable and understand certain things when it comes to uh, dealing with a son and trying to raise him to be a man. Like I said, my father wasn't there. I have uh, really no memories of my father being there, sitting me down, talking to me about what it means to be a man, and about women and relationships and how you're supposed to treat a woman when you have a woman being a provider for her, a protector for her. I wasn't taught these things. I had to learn these things on my own through my constant study and reading about situations, women, what women want, what it is to be a man, because knowledge is power, but power only belongs to those who know. So I had to get off in the books and go to researching and talking to people. And then I began to learn what it meant to be a man and what it meant to be a husband, to respect women, in my life. So it was a hard journey. So I want y'all to just share with me. P, come get this back up. I want y'all to just share with me your experiences, what you went through, far as not having a father in your life as a young man growing up. And I want your queens to share with me some insight on what you are going through or what you went through trying to raise a son to be a man without their father in their life. But let me say this, I'm seeing everybody logging in. I appreciate you. But let me say this. Um, as a man and a father who was incarcerated in prison, I did time in prison, you know, and while I was in prison, I began to rethink my life, the decisions I was making in life, and I often thought about my sons. I had two sons, and I wanted to reach out to my sons. because I didn't want them to end up where I was at, in prison, being told what to do, what you can't do, and the violence and everything, bloodshed. So, but I was cut off from communicating with my son by the mother. For whatever reason, it is what it is. But I wanted to reach out to my son, but I didn't have that avenue to do that. I wanted to from behind the gates, from behind the walls of prison. I wanted to reach out to my son and try to give him some guidance so he wouldn't walk down that same path I walked down and ended up in the same situation that I was in, being in prison. Okay, I want to thank Ashanti Chambers and Tanya Patterson for tuning in. So y'all give me some comment. Okay, I got one down here. Say, what do you feel like so many fathers are not in their children's life? That's a very devastating situation for the father not to be in the child's life, because as a son, he needs that male figure in his life to teach him about respect, about how to treat a woman, how to respect his woman, how to be respectful in the streets. And if his son is thinking about going out into the street life, getting into drugs, trying to sell drugs for, to make money and stuff, then he needs to be there, if he have experienced that life, to let him know that that's really not the route you want to go, man. And it may seem like it's good because you see dudes riding around in the fancy cars with the money on the videos or whatever. But man, there's a whole lot more come with that world that you got to be prepared for. So he needs a father in his life to give him instructions and to guide him to the right path, that you need to get in school, get your education, get you some trades, you understand me, and become an independent man to be able to get you a queen, and then provide for your queen, protect your queen, and support your queen in whatever she is trying to accomplish in life. Okay, I got one
Your
saying.
question is why. You got to answer the question. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little assistant. I'm helping to make sure to answer these questions. Why?
Okay, the question is from Precious. Said, why do you feel like so many fathers are not in their children's life? Well, first of all, because they haven't been taught the responsibility. See, I'm older, so I grew up, with older people in my life who had what you call old fashioned ways, as they say. And I was taught that if you go out there and you get a woman pregnant, then it's your responsibility to take care of that child. So when my first child was born, I was very young. I was like 16 when my first daughter was born. But I manned up and took responsibility for my child, to provide for her and her mother, because I was taught that. But a lot of men, they not taught that. So they go make a baby and it's like whatever. So you have to make sure, that you get involved with a man or a boy that's, has a value system that's going to be there for your child when that child is born, and also with you through your pregnancy. So that's one of the major issues, that these young men are not being taught in the home, that responsibility to be a father to their child. So that's something that you have to deal with and look into before you get involved with a man sexually and end up pregnant. Okay, so like, if anybody have any questions, I want you to post your question so I can give you my personal advice or wisdom on your question from what I went through. But me growing up as a son without a father, I mean, my mother was always there, always. That was my rock. You know what I'm saying? May God bless the dead and may she rest in peace. That was my rock. She was always there. But my mother didn't grow up in the streets. My mother was a professional woman. She thrived on education and pushed that to me. I was an A student, but as I got older, not having a father figure in my life, I veered off into the streets, and started doing illegal activities at a very young age, breaking in houses and cars, stealing cars, and robbery and selling drugs later on in life. So my mother couldn't relate to me and give me guidance because she had no knowledge of that lifestyle I had entered into and the dangers of that lifestyle. So as a mother trying to raise a son to be a man, if you have never been out there in the street life and your son veers off into that lifestyle, then you need to educate yourself on what that lifestyle is really about by talking to some people that maybe been in that lifestyle, what really goes on in that lifestyle, so you can be able to educate your son that, hey, you really don't want to get into that lifestyle, man. It may look good, but there's a lot of things going on in that lifestyle, man. You can lose your life in that lifestyle. You can end up in prison for the rest of your life out there trying to sell drugs or gang banging or robbing people and stuff. See, you have to be able to ask that mother who don't have that father figure in that home to be able to sit your son down and educate your son on the dangers of getting into this alternative lifestyle of crime and criminal activity. I didn't have that, because my mother didn't grow up in that world, so she couldn't educate me on the dangers of entering into a life of criminal activity and selling drugs and doing crimes and things. So it's very important. And for the fathers, I say that you have to be there for your children. Even though I was in and out of jail and prison for a period of time in my life, I always try to stay connected to my children. I would send them cards and pictures. Here's one I drew for my baby girl years ago. She was a little baby.
That came from college.
Yeah, when she was in college, just when here, her birthday. From daddy. So even when I was in prison, I always would write my children, send them cards to try to give connection to them and wisdom to them. And even though I wasn't there physically, I tried to make it myself to be a present in their life through letters, through cards. And I ask all of you queens out there, you may have been in a relationship, didn't go well between you and your son's or your daughter's father. Okay, I get that. But at the same time, me personally, I would tell you, there's a lot of men in prison who made mistakes. And when you get behind them walls in that county jail and in that prison behind that gate, you start rethinking some things. You start thinking about some things. And you start realizing that a lot of things you did wasn't right. You understand me? And a lot of men in prison, they want to reach out to their children because they don't want their son or daughter to end up in the same position they are in. So, as a queen, I ask you, I beseech you, if your son wants to have a relationship with his father, even though he may be incarcerated, county jail, prison, whatever, if your son is crying out for his father, then you should do everything you can to connect him with his father, providing that his father is going to wants to be in his life to inspire him and encourage him to do better than what he did. You understand me? You don't want to, I understand you don't want to encourage your son to be in his father's life if his father is still living a reckless life and is not going to try to teach his son to do better than what he is doing, to get an education, to become an independent, strong man in life. I get that. I agree with that. I applaud you. I wouldn't want you to have your son in that situation in either. But if your son's father has rethought things, and he realized his mistakes that he has made. And even though you and him might not be able to get back together, that's cool. But y'all have a son to raise together now. So if he wants to be in his life, to give him guidance and instruction, you know, and help him choose the right paths in life, then you should do everything you can to establish that relationship between your son and his father, so he can help guide him down the right path in life. Because it was a very hard journey for me, and I had to learn by trial and error, what it meant to be a man, to respect a woman, to treat her like a queen, to provide for her, to be her protector, and also my children. So it was a long journey, but in the end, I made it, because I looked at my father wasn't there in my life, and I made a decision in my life that I don't want to be like that for my children. I want to be a presence in my children's life. So I always try to do whatever I can to be a presence in their life. And like I say, as a father, that's your responsibility, man. Don't be a deadbeat dad. If you done laid down with a queen and have produced a child, that's your blood, man. That's your blood. That's bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh, blood of your blood, you know. And you supposed to try to do whatever you can to help your son or your daughter. It's like me when I got out of prison a few years ago in 2006. And my son, me and him reconnected, my oldest son. And he was like, Dad, I want to come down to Miami where you at. Ain't nothing popping down here in Belle Glade. I said, okay, that's cool. I said, but at the time I was married, me and my wife lived in the house together. I said, but everything in this house right here, get up in the morning and go to work. You understand me? Ain't no, laying around. You're gonna be looking for a job or doing something. You understand me? So I said, well, I said, okay, try to figure something out. You understand me? Get something going. You know what I'm saying? Then you can come on down. He said, okay. So at the time I had my own business, VIP detailing. So I found him a spot to open a car wash for him, you know, and I secured the spot and everything and set him up. And I brought him down first to work with me, out to the Don Shula. I had a Don Shula Center golf course on lock down there and other places. So I brought him down first and took him out with me. And I started teaching him the difference between washing the car and detailing the car. You understand me? And then I started him his own car wash. You know what I'm saying? Me, so he can learn how to be independent and get money on your own without going in the streets and trying to rob people, selling drugs, and all that. And as a father, if you have certain skills, trades, you should be trying to pass that on to your son. My father was a master builder. He built a house from the ground up, you know, by itself, brought a prince and everything. But he didn't pass that on to me. He didn't spend time with me to pass these skills on to me. So I wouldn't have to go out there in the streets talking about robbing, selling drugs or whatever. But as time went on, I got in programs myself and got certified and stuff, electrician, cabinet making, forklift operator. I acquired many skills, detailing, so I can in turn pass these on to my son, and business skills I try to share with my children, that you don't need the streets. So it's very important as a father, man. Take out time, man, with your son. You feel me? Running the streets, chasing this and chasing that right there. What about your bloodline? What you doing for your son? Okay. You got a couple of comments. Okay, it says, how do I get my kids' father to be in their lives? It is a different situation for each one of them. You're absolutely right. Um, that's something really that he has to want to do. Let's just keep it real. You got some guys, man, they don't give up whatever about they got a child from you. Their mindset on is chasing the street, chasing female, getting high all day, or whatever. They could care less about that child. That it is what it is. So you have to your child father better than anybody. So you have to be real with yourself that whether this individual wants to be in my child's life or not, whether they put forth any effort or not. And one thing about it, a man, woman, or even a child, you ain't finna make them do nothing they don't want to do. So that's something that he has to want to do. And as queen, if you in that situation and you feel as though this man does not want to have anything to do with his child, really don't spend no time with him, then you have to embrace that, accept that, and let it make you strong to be there for your son. I'm gonna be here for you. I'm gonna teach you what it is to be a man. I'm gonna ask questions if I have to find out what's going on so I can help guide you. You will have to bear that burden like many other queens in this world are bearing the burden of trying to raise a son to be a man of their own. And OG would always be here for you if you need any advice or questions or whatever. You can hit me up. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna keep it real with you, just like it is. Okay. We have another comment here that says one incarcerated and the other around, but don't come because I have a boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay, I guess you're saying that. I don't know.
When she just asked you about how to get the father involved, that's her follow-up response. She's saying one of them is incarcerated and the other one, whatever she said.
Okay. On that tip right there, does the father of the child who is incarcerated, does he want a relationship with your son? And does your son want a relationship with him? You have to answer that question. And if it's a mutual thing where they both want to connect, then you should do everything you can to make that happen. For us sitting down with your son, come on, let's write your daddy a letter, and help him write a letter and let him correspond back to his son. And you monitor the letters to see what the father is sharing with your son, because you don't want no negativity. You want positivity for him to be able to guide his son from behind them walls and those gates and give him wisdom and instruction so he would not be in the same situation that his daddy is in. So if he's incarcerated and he wants a relationship, hey, make it happen. As long as it's positive and motivating and inspiring to your son, make it happen. Now, as far as the boyfriend, where's the boyfriend? Is he in prison? Is he what he in? What he slanging dope? What he gang banging? You have to figure out whether you want this individual in your son's life anyway, based upon the life he's living now. He might not be the right role model for the son in your life. You don't want to bring any man into your life. You know what I'm saying? Because you bring him in your life, you bring him into your son's life. So what is he living? You know what I'm saying? How is he living? What is he about? And then you must make a wise decision.
Did she say she have a boyfriend and a girlfriend?
Yeah, you said boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay, let me see what's saying right here.
Okay, so she got both.
Okay. He would try but always turn ghost. My soon in therapy for it. Okay, well, a lot of times, let me share something with you. Sisters, queens. A lot of times men will cater to your son or your daughter, but it's all just an attempt because they want to get to you. You understand me? So they'll go through the motions, you know what I'm saying, me with your son or daughter. But when you see it's not genuine, you're not really genuinely interested in my son, or my daughter. You understand me? Then you must make a wise decision as a strong queen. Hey, it's time to pull the plug on this because this dude here faking. You understand me? I got a son, but you ain't really in and out of my son's life. I need you to be in presence in my son's life to help me raise him to be a man. If he ain't on that page, then you need to go ahead on and sit down and have a serious conversation with this dude, man. You know what you gonna do, man? You gonna be here for me and for him, or you just here for me for a booty call? You know, I'm still trying to get you some sex. What page we on? You feel me? And you got to keep it real. Keep it real with me. What page you? What you want? You want a relationship? You want marriage with me? You gonna help me raise this son I got to be a man, or you just want some sex every now and then? You feel me? And then once you realize, based upon the facts, what's really happening, then you must make a wise decision. Sometimes you have to pull the plug. It's time to pull the plug on this here, man, because it ain't even happening the way I want it to happen. Okay, let's see what we got here. I read that one there. Okay, he will try, but always I read that one there. Once incarcerated, and the other run around.
Already read that. That's it. Now go ahead and talk.
Okay, so y'all hit me up with some more comments, you know, and questions, you know, but it's a very serious matter, you know, because we got a lot of young men out there, you know, in the streets, a lot of them in prison. You know, you don't want your son to end up in the streets and doing something illegal. And the way that legal system is now, they will lock your son up for the rest of his life behind them gates. That's how serious it is. If you allow your son to go out into those streets dealing in criminal activity or dealing with individuals who dealing in criminal activity. Because the way the law works is that if I'm riding in the car with you, okay, and we go to a spot and you mess around and shoot somebody and kill them, both of us got a murder charge. Both of us can get life in prison. So you have to teach your sons, man, you be careful who you riding around with, jumping in and out of cars with, what they doing if they involved in criminal activity, because one episode can cause your son to go to prison for the rest of their life. The rest of their life. So it's very serious. And like I say, all of the fathers out there who you have laid down with these queens and made these babies, you know, and they didn't ask to be here. First of all, you know, that's y'all creation, and y'all brought this child into the world. So as a man, it's your responsibility to be there for your son or your daughter every day. It's a 24-hour, 7-day a week, 365-day a year responsibility for you to be there for that queen who you impregnated and that child that was brought into this world by you two. You have to be there. And to you queens, I say to you, you need to really think and know what type of man you getting involved with before you lay down with him having sex and end up getting pregnant. Because a lot of men, that's all they about, the sex. That's it. You know, they care less about when a baby comes, they ready to go now. They don't want the responsibility. They finna go. So you need to make sure you got a man that you laying down with, that if you do get pregnant, okay, he got my back. He gonna be here for me. He gonna ride with me. He gonna die. He gonna be there for his kid. Got to worry about that. You feel me? I'm gonna share a story with y'all. Y'all, some of y'all might know about it. Some of y'all might not. But when I was younger, they had this thing called the McDuffie riot. You know, about McDuffie got beat up by the police and he let the police off. Anyway, when the riot broke off, me and one of my homeboys, God bless him, he's dead now. We got together in his Volkswagen, and we went to this store, and they in the store looting. You understand me? I mean, everybody running to the beer cooler, getting the wine, cigarettes and stuff. I had just had my first born daughter, Terentia, my oldest. Okay, when I went off in there, I grabbed a garbage can, a big tall garbage can, and I went to the baby aisle. I started grabbing Pampers, baby food. You understand me? Pacifiers. I filled the garbage can up, and I drug it out there and put it inside my homeboy Volkswagen. I said, "Come on, let's go around here to the house right here." I took it around there to my daughter's mother. I said, "Honey, get all this stuff right here. That's for Terencia." You understand me? Then I went, back out and did my little 1, 2, and other things. But my mind was on my daughter. I got a baby. She need Pampers. She need milk. She need baby food. She need clothes. So when I went off in there, I'm grabbing baby stuff, man, for my baby. But every man ain't like that. So you must know who you laying down with before you lay down with him. He gonna be there for you to help you raise that son. But it's a very difficult task, Queens, if you're trying to raise a son to be a man. You understand me? You must first realize what it is to be a man. Just because a man come around and spend money, that's not a man. Being a man and being a responsible man and a father means being a presence in that child's life on a daily basis, doing things with them, taking them to the park, playing with them, doing their homework with them. That's what being a man is. Not because he got a nice car and dressed good and got jewelry on and can give you a little money or pay a bill. That don't make a man. See, a man gonna be there for his queen, and he gonna be there for his children. So you need to really think about who you getting involved with before you lay down with a man. But like I said, in my journey, I had to teach myself to be a man, to respect a woman, and to treat her as a queen because she is a life-giving goddess who gives life to this world. Without the woman, there will be no world. We all would just slowly but surely die out and become extinct if every woman in the world was to close her legs to a man and said no. So I respect that. I understand that. And OG respect that to the utmost. And I give all you queens the utmost respect as a woman. And I encourage you to stay on point, raise your son the best you can. If you have any questions you want to run by me, asking about this or that, I ask you to. I'll give you my honest. I'm always keep it real. Give you my honest advice of what you should do in this situation, in that situation, from my own experience and from me being a man. Then it's up to you to either accept that advice or, not accept it. Okay, I have another comment. It say, I both talked to the fathers. I was in a domestic violence relationship with both of them, so I left. Now the one in prison, they are working on it now. He writes and talk to him on home WAV. The other one dad is around, but he only comes when he goes to his father mom house. Both of my kids are in school doing well. They don't game bang like they dad do. I try to put them in sports. That's very good. That's very good. And I commend you on the fact that the one who is in prison is trying to reach out to his son now. Because, like I said, I was in that position when I was in prison, and I longed to be able to communicate with my children and especially my son because I didn't want him to go down the same path that I had went down. So I commend you. I have much love and respect for you, Queen, for allowing that communication between him and his father in prison. Now the other one who just wanted to comes around when he's his father's mom house. I don't know the situation with that, why he would roll like that, but that's something you have to look at because you know him better than anybody else, the ins and out. You understand me? And then I got a post on one of my pages. Check out my page. There's a post that says a strong woman would never accept weakness. You cannot be enabling him in such behavior. You as a woman must put your foot down. Listen, listen, listen. You have a child. You need to take out time to spend with your child. You understand me? You can't let him come around when he want to come around. Not saying you do. I'm saying, but it does happen in some situations. You can let him come around. He want to come around for a booty call. You understand me? And then spend some time with the little shorty, his son. You know, but it's all just really about spending some time with you. You understand me? You have to peep that game right there and nip that in the bud. See, listen, man, ain't nothing happening. You need to spend time, come around and spend time with your son. Come pick your son up, take him somewhere. Take us somewhere sometimes. You understand me? So you have to know what's really going on, what his true motives is for coming around. And if it's just a sexual motivated type of situation with him, then you must nip that in the bud. You must stop all that sexual activity right there. Because it ain't about that. It's about this child we got in this world now. It needs to be raised in a responsible manner. So you have to deal with that based upon what you know the real deal of the situation is. Like I say, always keep it real with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. If it's like that, it's like that. Hey, he just want to come around for sex, accept that, acknowledge the truth about that, and make a decision what you're going to do based upon that. Based upon you and this son or daughter you trying to raise that you got from this individual. So you have to really take your time and before you move into these relationships with this man. Because honestly, let me tell you, sisters, you queens, most young men these days, they're not being taught what it means to be a man, to be a father, to be responsible. If you get a woman pregnant, then it's your responsibility as a man to be there for that child. You understand me? This is why I support all my children, my daughters. I try to help do everything I can to help her business grow. Far as her tax business, you know, I go out with her and we hang door hangers on doors with her information in it. We beat the streets together, talking to people, passing out her flyers and stuff. I'm there to support my child to make sure that she or he becomes successful. And you have to make sure as a woman that you are finna lay down with a man that has your best interest, and if you get pregnant, has your child's best interest, you know what I'm saying, me, within their interest. If it's not that, then you need to keep your clothes on and, you know, and tell him to go on about his business. You feel me? Especially if he ain't got nothing going on, he ain't got no job, he ain't getting no money. You understand me? He out there in the street selling drugs. I mean, he living on borrowed time. You understand me? So it's only a matter of time for the popo come and swoop him up. You understand me? And he gone out your life. So you have to make wise decisions because it's very hard trying to raise a son in today's society as a single mother. But I commend all of the strong queens out there who are doing that and who have done that. You understand me? My mother was always there. Like I said, my mother taught me how to cook, clean, and everything. She was always there, but my father wasn't. So I was very, very lacking when it came to a man's guidance and wisdom as to what it means to be a man. He needs to hear that from a man, what it means to be a man and how to be a man and the responsibilities that come with being a man. And to all you brothers who may be tuned in, and you sisters can relay the message to them if they're not tuned in. As a man, you must be there for your child. That's just the way it is. We read that one there. Okay. Yeah, you have to be there if you lay down with a female and she bears your child. She went through 9 months of agony that I can't even, imagine. I mean, I was there with most of my children when they came out the womb, you know. So I only missed one of my children being there with them coming out the womb. But I was there, and through the whole pregnancy, they go through so much pain and suffering to bear a child of yours, and you should respect them as a woman and respect them as a queen, that gave life to your seed You know, and you should be there for them and support them, whether y'all getting along or not. It's like me with my children's mothers. You know, I mean, they call me and say, "Hey, man, I need a little help with something." I'll be there for them. That's my child's mother. You feel me? I'll be there for them. Even though we're not together anymore. If they were to call me and say, "Hey, I need a little help moving or whatever, can you help me out?" For sure, yeah, I'll be there. That's my child's mother. You know, and I'm gonna be there for my children that she bared from me. That's my seed. You know what I'm saying? That's blood of my blood, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. So let's just keep it real, man. You understand me? Let's keep it real, sisters. Y'all keep it real. You got to make hard decisions sometimes with the man in your life. If he ain't producing, if he ain't stepping up, don't fall for weakness. You understand me? Don't fall for the sex game. You understand? Because it's about this child now. Stay focused. I got a child to raise. We got a child to raise. What are you gonna do? You understand me? So he need to step up as a man and take responsibility. That's about it.
Want to close out?
Yeah. All right. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I ask y'all to share and invite others. Next week we're gonna have another topic. I'm gonna
Same time.
same time. We'll schedule for every Sunday for 5 o'clock until 6 or beyond. You know, if the questions come in, I won't cut you off. I'll try to get through them. But next week, 5 o'clock, we're gonna start another session. I'm gonna post what it'll be on next Sunday.
Ask them the suggestions.
And yeah, if y'all have any suggestions or topics that y'all want to discuss, y'all send them to me and I'll put them down and we'll slide them in there and we discuss those issues there too. So y'all get at me, man, and y'all be good, man. Y'all be peace. Y'all love one another, respect one another, and you men out there take responsibility and be a man and be there for your woman, your queen, and your child. Peace. OG, always keeping it real.